Oh, buddy. Man, you could come in here too.
I'm gonna learn, yeah. Love learning. Can I sit here? Is this safe
God,
for
I hope we're
anybody?
not learning any.
Hey, Nona. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hey, I put but I put a shirt in your locker, okay?
Oh, okay. Kaboom. Is it gonna blow up?
No, it's a shirt,
Okay.
like a care flight shirt.
Where do you get those, Dennis?
Okay.
They were handing them out yesterday. It just kind of whenever care flight comes around, they had a stack of them that were like rejects.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
All right, guys, so kicking off our June meeting, I do want to start with, we've been really focusing a lot of time on narcotics and focusing on our narcotic discrepancies and making sure that we're minding our practices, slowing down when we're administering narcotics. We're at our lowest occurrence rate since the beginning of the year. So you guys, this is appreciation from me to you for putting the effort in to make this happen, right? I totally understand we've got the issues with CPSI. We have the issues with the scanners. I can assure you that those issues will be cleared up when we do this transition to Meditech. When they were here last week, I did test the what's called BMV function, which is bedside medication verification, which is a really long way of saying use the barcode scanning, technique, and it worked perfectly. And that's with those newer Black & Decker scanners. Actually gonna make a note here.
Yeah, because I am making a note that you assured us on this day, June 21st, 2024,
At
yes,
8:07 with 23
Assured.
seconds.
see, assured scanners and computers with Meditech, no issues. Got it. We're gonna hold you to it. Where's the rope?
I do just want to briefly go back over chain of custody. I was gonna have Omar be here this morning, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. The big thing when it comes down to narcotics, making sure that whoever has indicated that they have removed that medication from the system, that medication is now with them for part of the chain of custody process until it's either scanned and put into the body of the patient or returned to the machine or wasted, right? One of those three options still tied to that individual. So one of the key things I want to bring up with chain of custody when it comes to narcs, if there any step that involves the next step once you've removed that medication has to originate from the person that performed that function. And so basically what we want to avoid is I pull the med from the system, something happens to that medication, and I hand it off to someone else to waste on my behalf. Or I let someone else log into the machine first and initiate the narcotic waste, and then now I'm signing as the witness, right? So anytime you're doing a return function or a waste function on the Pyxis with the medication, we want to make sure that that waste originates from the person that pulled the medication from the system. And that's just good chain of custody, right? In this conversation, I don't want it to be any necessary, finger pointing type thing saying that, we've got high risk individuals in the department that we need to be concerned about. That's not what it is. It's just good practices to make sure that when you pull the medication, you know what's happening with it after it's pulled from the machine. Because any chain of events could potentially occur if you lose sight of that medication, right? Now, let's say if somebody drops something and it's like, it's gone, like, can't find it, gone, like, goes back behind some panel and it's stuck behind between a panel and the wall, or something crazy like that happens. Trust me, it happens.
Yeah.
And, so now we have a missing free narcotic that's kind of out in the wild. What do we do in that situation? The key thing is when it comes to narcs, if there's ever a question of, shit, I lost something, or, I'm not sure if I followed the process correctly, right? Whatever it may be, the key thing is to immediately come forward to the pharmacy and let them know, hey, XYZ happened. I can't find this medication. I dropped it between this panel and the wall. We can't get back there to get it. It's going to show up as a discrepancy. So now the pharmacy already knows what the story is and what happened. And you're coming to me, and you're coming to the pharmacy firsthand and relaying that information. Are you gonna get in trouble? No. Am I maybe gonna, laugh with you because you dropped it between something? Yeah, I am. But now we know what happened to it, right? And we can resolve that without it becoming an investigation. If that same person was to drop it in between and then, failed to chart it off in the system, or did chart it off in the system, and then that medication was later found, and let's say it was still in its packaging, and, now pharmacy's gonna be wondering, well, what the heck happened here? Right? And then it's gonna start a series of questions and pulling people in that hold the medication and all this other thing, and it creates a lot of work for a situation that can be very easily avoided if somebody just throws together a quick email, shoots it over to myself and Omar, and says, hey, XYZ happened yesterday when we were doing this waste. We know it was funny when it fell between the wall and it wasn't funny at first, and then it was, whatever ends up happening, just being able to come forward with that information, because it makes the investigation side of things super easy for me. It makes it super easy for Omar, because then we can just squash it and move on. Yeah.
Well, yesterday there was a med for 31 and it's not scanning, and as soon as it didn't scan because it was a narc, I called pharmacy. They came and they took a picture of it and we went through and it covered my butt. And then also, that was the med that was working for him. So I continued to do the same thing, but pharmacy was aware of it. Before I ever gave it.
Next thing I want to thank you guys, because and there was actually an email that came out from both Omar and Denise. So Denise tracks the narcotic discrepancies. She keeps track of it on a quality metrics standpoint. And she's been coming to me since pretty much the first of the year. So the first month of the year, so January 2024, we had something like 20 to 30 narcotic discrepancies that month. Last month we had, I believe, 2. So significant improvement. I can tell you the admin team is very ecstatic to see those numbers go down. And that's from you guys. That's from you guys changing your practices, utilizing the tools and tricks that we've talked about when things aren't scanning, when things aren't working, slowing down your workflow, coming up with practices or processes that you yourself are using to double check to make sure that, the documentation for that medication occurred, right? So thank you. I appreciate it. It's very helpful. It takes something off of my plate that I have to consistently track, and I really, really appreciate it.
It's noticed.
So nurses station usage. So as you guys may or may not know, I've been meeting with the team leads on a weekly basis, and we utilize that time to talk about a myriad of different topics, from leadership skills to process changes, issues that we've run into with the process in the department and what can we do better? How can we change it? How to manage any myriad of situations, right? So one of the things that I've consistently brought up, and I want to bring it up for the overall team so that the message is also coming directly from me. I want to ensure that during our shifts, that the nurses station is not utilized as a area to conduct socialization or, talking or hanging out or things of that nature. When you come in to start your shift, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., obviously everybody's going to be together at that area to get huddle performed. You guys knock that out, and once huddle's done, I want to make sure you guys are down your hallways with your wows by where your patients are, so that way you can provide close attended care with the people that are there, right? The other intention here is yes, you can socialize when you're at work, right? But I want to see that happen in areas where it's appropriate. If you're going to be on your phone, do so in the break room, right? If you want to take lunch outside at the picnic tables, go for it. Absolutely, 100%, right? But when we have a coalescence of staff at the nurses station, we tend to see more talking being done than working being performed. Okay, so my ask, and I have covered this with the team leads, I've also asked them to enforce this. This is me setting the rule in place, and the enforcement's going to come from your team leads. I want people down their hallways when they're performing their work, okay? You're gonna have to come back to the nurses station to get your tele strips, to check on your teles, to find out information about your admissions, to get your discharge paperwork, to ask for the status of a transfer, go down the list, right? But
Yes.
I don't want it to be utilized as a socialization mecca location, right? Simple as that. So we're coming up. Meditech's gonna be rolling out in like 40 days. So I think we're down to 40 days left before we go live with Meditech. So it's coming. It's right around
What's
the
that
corner.
date? 40 days.
40 days and nights.
40 days from today, the 21st, so we're looking at August 1st.
Yeah,
When school starts.
yeah,
40 days in the hole.
yeah. It'll be
That's
like the
80 days.
first,
You'll like it.
100 days.
yeah, it'll be like the first week of August.
You'll like it. Once you
So-
get it, you'll like it.
There are
I don't
people
really
that
know
don't
it.
have med power finished. We're gonna be doing end user training. I wanna say it's gonna be Wednesday next week. If you are able to come in, you're not scheduled that day, and you are able to come in to do end user training, please come in and do end user training.
What's the time?
What does that mean?
So it's effectively, they're going to have Meditech personnel present on site that are going to walk through the utilization of the system.
Say
How do
end,
you,
like end user?
end user,
End-
because you are an end user. To show people how to use the system, right? Med Power is going to give you the basics with videos and click boxes, kind of similar to the CPSI training that we have for CPSI, right? Very similar
I'm
concept.
looking.
If you cannot make it to the end user training,
26.
it's okay. We're going to record it and we're gonna post it on Med Power.
What's the time?
It's gonna start at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's probably gonna go to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ooh, okay.
So it's gonna be a
And we're
full,
paid, obviously.
yes, it's gonna be a full 8-hour day.
Do we have to stay for the whole 8 hours if we
They're-
can't, we can?
Or if
They're
you're
gonna-
kind of stupid like me, you'll be here until the next.
They're gonna do lunch at like noon.
Okay.
And
You're not working, are you?
if you are going to come, I would appreciate it if you could stay the whole day,
Okay,
just because,
Just so you don't miss it.
I hear you.
we're gonna be covering a lot of content. And I wanna make sure that, because it's gonna be in the classroom, right, so there is limited space for the amount of people that we will be able to have. And so I want to make sure that the folks that do come are able to stay for the duration of the time.
Okay,
Okay.
lunch is provided.
I don't know. I'll find out.
We might get a little coupon from
Coupon
Regina
from
for,
Regina.
for,
You know, I've lost 2 green cards and I had to get a third
I'll
one and I'm like
You know,
freaking over
I'll
it.
see
still
if I
not
can,
legal. Yes,
I'll see,
that is gross, sorry.
I'll see if I can, get lunch.
Get me a free green card.
Encourage, no, just to encourage people to come. So we will be recording the session and it will ultimately be posted on the MedPower site for those individuals that aren't able to attend. So you will still be able to see what we were working through. People asking questions in real time. Well,
I want to be there.
the attendees that are present will be able to ask questions and you'll be able to hear the answers to those questions. So obviously you won't be present to be able to ask questions, but it is going to be recorded that way. You know, if you aren't able to be there in person, at least
Questions
We've
and
got an
answers are
option.
recorded.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So accessing MedPower, we'll run through this again. You're going to go into your work email. You're going to look for an email from this lady named Kristen Donovan. In there, you're going to have a link. You'll follow that link. It gives you instructions on the username and password to use when you're logging in. Once you get logged into that, you don't even have to get logged into the program. Once you find the email, you can send it to your personal email.
Yeah.
If you want to complete this from home, you can complete it from home.
What,
If you want to come in and do
The
it here,
training.
you can come in and do it here, right?
this?
The MedPower training.
Not the
got
one
about-
we've already had.
Talking
Or
about,
the one
The
we
one that
already
we've
had.
already had.
I have been doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got about 15 people that still need to get it done.
oh, the
I'm
one we
halfway.
already did.
Yes.
I'm halfway done.
Some people have already finished it. We've got about
Doesn't mean I understand it.
10 people that have finished it, maybe a little bit more.
It's really nice.
We've got about 5 or 6 people that are like started and at some, you know, they're at some point in the actual video stream. And then we have about 10, 15 people that haven't even opened it and started anything.
Open it, people.
So it's 6 hours of training. It is paid time. You can do it from home. If you're gonna be on call, this is on call is an excellent opportunity to make up 6 hours of the day that you're potentially gonna miss. If you've already been on call for the week and and like today, and I'm telling you about this today, and you've already been on call through the week and you're needing to get some extra hours, it can help put a little bit extra money in your pocket. It gets the training knocked out, so that way when we actually go live with Meditech, you're not as completely lost, right? That's the goal here, is we don't want to leave anybody like significantly behind. I might have to kick one of you guys
I'll
out.
be like hitching a ride, trying to get her into there knowing what's going on.
So please, you'll have to access it from work first, send it to your personal email, get in there, knock it out. So it was brought to my attention this week that people's personal effects have been going missing out of the break room. I brought this to Steve. Unfortunately, we don't have any cameras that look down those hallways, so I want to err on the side of, I hope that what is happening isn't someone that's from this hospital, right? Not even necessarily from our team, but from this hospital. That break room door typically stands open 24/7, doesn't get closed. And so one of the things that we requested is to add an auto closer to that door. I did put the work order in with Steve at the beginning of the week. So that way we don't have to like intentionally mind closing that door. It'll just always be closed. I don't have any intention to change the passcode on the door. But the goal is I want to make sure that, the folks that are going in and out of that room are team members for the med search department. And I want to make sure that people's stuff is secure, right? So when you come into work, we've heard about issues with stuff getting taken out of the parking lot, with people's cars being stolen in the past.
Somebody tried to break into mine the other day.
People trying to break into the actual hospital itself. I've heard these stories. Most of these are events that took place before I was even here. right? And so, you know, I don't want today to turn into a finger pointing match of any kind, or I have to worry about my coworkers and watch my back with my stuff. You know, I want to make sure that we're providing a safe work environment for people and their stuff. And so we're putting the auto closer in for that door. We did escalate things to HR's attention, and I will also be posting a bulletin, so I I don't want I don't want it to come out that this is someone that's part of the hospital. But I do also at the same time want to make it clear that if somebody is caught taking stuff from team members, you'll be fired. Like
Amen.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
we won't keep you
Yeah.
here, unfortunately. And I really hope that as a leader for the department, I've made myself available enough for people. That if anyone on the team needs something, if you're running shy on money, if you're having issues, contact me, get a hold of me. And this is just in general, not particular to, you know, theft of any kind, just in general. If people are having a hard time making ends meet, what have you, reach out to me. I'm happy to get together with you and we can, you know, we can work on opportunities to help people out, right? Um, so the only serious change that's really coming is we're putting that auto closer on the door. And the only thing I ask is please don't prop it open. Once that gets installed, please don't prop that door. Let it do its job and auto close for that room. That way people's stuff is secure, going forwards.
What?
The car got.
Oh, I'll tell you.
So as many of you have probably noticed over the last month to 2 months, we've added a number of new team members to the crew. We've got some new day shift nurses. I've got a new night shift nurse that's going to be starting within the next month. We're adding a lot of new team members. That being said, we need CNAs. So I will be covering our position control with HR next week. So I'll be going over what positions I have open, what positions do we have posted, what do we need, how is that going to impact the schedule? And we're doing solid on nursing positions right now. So I have Fernie and Amber are both doing an exceptional job. And I've talked with both of their preceptors. Both of them are going to be just about ready to come off of their orientation here pretty soon. So we're going to be adding those two to the team. We just had Brianna pass her test last week.
Yay.
So she's going to be joining the team as a nurse now. We've added Sunshine, we've added Ashley. We've added a couple of PRN staff members as CNAs with Ed's kid, Anthony. And I want to keep this train rolling. So especially if you know someone that is a CNA, so they already have background experience either working as a CNA or even someone that's just gone through the CNA course that we can bring on to join the team. Having that CNA course background is extremely beneficial because it provides, as we know, it provides all of the basis for what CNAs will be doing in our department, right? And so I like bringing on PCTs onto the team and getting them to the point that we can transition them to CNA. But I also at the same time want to temper that with as many experienced individuals as well, at least 1 for 1. And so if you know someone that's in school, if you know someone that's looking to go down that road, connect with them, have them put an application in with the hospital. The hospital does have there's like a little recommendation bonus. And I can't remember exactly what the quantity was. We covered it in one of our last meetings.
$100.
I think it might be like $500 now.
Oh.
So if you know somebody and you're able to bring them in with a recommendation, you know, you can get a little extra on one of your checks. and help bolster the team long-term. That's the other benefit as well, right? The CNAs is really the one area that we need people. We also have a day shift team lead position that is currently being held by one of our travelers, and then we also have 2 night shift ICU positions that are held by travelers. I have some plans, some playbook plans in place in order to replace those positions. And there'll be more details to come down the road. I just don't have quite enough information specifically on the ICU component, to announce that to you guys yet. I want to get it put together first, and then I can roll it out, and we can take some candidates for kind of what our game plan is to get those positions filled. And with that, that's my portion. We've got 30 minutes for you guys. So if there's anything anybody online has, or Nona or Sunshine, if there's things that you guys specifically want to bring up or questions that anybody has about what we covered, I am happy to be all ears.
I'm excited to start learning this position. And expanding.
What are you training more? Chart?
So Rebecca Cardenas asked about, was there
Are
a
you done?
decision
Are we
made?
still in the meeting?
Yeah, we're still in.
Well,
Rebecca Cardenas asked, did they ever decide on getting security for the hospital? It was mentioned in past meetings.
well,
Honestly, Becca, I don't have a legitimate answer for you on that at this point. I'll have to circle back with Z and figure out what their decision is on security for the facility. But at this time, I haven't had any specific announcements from the admin team as far as adding security positions to the hospital.
what about, are we gonna get new wows? I mean, I know you said that once we get the Meditech, we're not gonna have issues, but we have in the last couple, well, I haven't been here all month practically, but before that.
So there's an announcement that's gonna be coming. And I'm almost tipsy on if I even want to say anything yet, because I'm not sure if it's a sure thing just yet.
Last summer, they told us they ordered 3, we got 1,
There's potentially 4 coming our way.
so that
Is
means we'll probably get another one.
That's the short version. So, but there will be an announcement. There will be a formal announcement, and it has to do with a grant. But I don't want to share too many details because it's not completely ironed down and crossed I's and dotted T's just yet.
Okay. And no shiny heads.
Thanks.
I love them.
Anybody else have any pressing questions that they want to bring up and communicate with the remainder of the group? Or anything regarding the content that I covered today?
So make sure we have good vibes, good vibes, when everybody's on the floor, and good attitudes. So important.
Anybody online?
Yeah, Keenan, it's Cheryl. Can you hear me?
Barely,
Yeah.
but we can hear you.
Barely.
Yeah, you're just very robotic.
Okay. It might be because I have my Bluetooth on. Let me take my Bluetooth off. Oh. How about now? Is that better?
Better.
Yes.
Okay. So I was driving because we were driving home. Did you say that the training that we would have gotten next Wednesday is going to be recorded so we can go back and go over it?
Yes. Yes, it's going to be recorded and it's going to be posted to the MedPower website.
Okay, because I won't be able to be there because I have to work Tuesday night with my husband. So, okay. All righty, cool. Thank you.
Not a problem. Yeah, that meeting will be recorded and posted on MedPower for everyone to watch that's not able to attend. So,
Okay.
and it is gonna be in the classroom, so there's gonna be, you know, space that's limited to the classroom and the amount of laptops and computers that they have. You know, if we try to squeeze 30 people in there for that one training, it's gonna be tough. And that's just because
That room is too small for 30.
well, the room's small, but also the person that's going to be teaching, it's just gonna be one guy. So, you know, trying to keep track of as issues pop up with 30 different individuals, because you're navigating through the system and you're clicking on stuff and you're trying to, you know, simulate doing things like you would on the floor with a patient. You know, if somebody gets lost or something's not working right, you know, with 30 people, it'll make it a challenge to be able to address people's issues
Yeah.
with just one person.
Yeah,
It's like a teacher trying to teach a class of 30 students is tough.
right. Okay.
English 101.
Anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
Come on, all you shy ones.
All right, everybody, I think we will give you back
Bless the Lord.
24 minutes of your Friday and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.
Thank you.